Sea of Galilee, coming down towards Tveria.
זה כתוב מצפה בעברית ומצפה באנגלית. ממש מצפה.
This whole area is a resort area. Tiberias is a resort city. People on vacation would come to Tiberias. There's lots of hotels, restaurants,
Hot springs.
boats that goes across the lake, hot springs. It's just a place for people to come and
Fish
relax and fish
restaurants.
sometimes. Yeah, lots of fish restaurants.
Look at my overshirt. It's in the back.
It's over the lake, Jesus walking on the water, calming the storm, all the sorts of the miracles that happened to Jesus while he was reaching around the Sea of Galilee.
Good, go swimming. Oh yeah, there's
Right here in front of us,
banana tree. Tiberias on the opposite side and the Sea of Galilee, and we're climbing up now. We're in the Chadar Ochel of Park Giladi. תמר, רחל היא אוכלת, ויהודית. That first building when we drove in, that first building, the big building they built, so this was their brave and wonderful building of the 50s, 1950s? 1950s it looks like to me.
What is it now?
Now it's a dance floor. Karate happens here, the library is over there, they have a huge library. And this is where I came the first night after I came to the kibbutz. Look at.
Andy, are you gonna wear your sweater?
Not at the moment. You like it?
שלפני שנולדנו כבר.
All the trees you see up here are planted by the people who came here. It was an empty hill, very windy, and they lived older people. But the little houses, each little house has a I think it's changed a little bit. There's a billiard table in there.
Oh well.
It's a children's house. So last year she was here. This was where she was. So upstairs they have little rooms for resting in the middle of the day, and downstairs they have.
כיתות.
And now, well, when she was here, so what they have is all the children's houses had a kitchen, a dining room, a play area, and for the young ones, a sort of a nap room. And all of their laundry comes from the main laundry to here, and it's sorted and given to them. And their classes used to be up there where the school is. Now they've changed it a little bit. So you have a whole series of toddler houses that feed into the kindergartens, that feed into the children's houses. So this was Rachel's school here. And down here, these three buildings, this was Mom's diddly here. They all lived there. And it was a mess. It wasn't well done. They made it up a little bit. Yeah, that was a real problem.
This is a fun swing.
So this was the schoolhouse, only this.
Yes.
No,
It's now it's a
Also above ground shelter.
See all this.
What's that? Is the school?
It's the school offices. These are the school offices.
המזכירות של הבית ספר. איך אומרים?
I mean, basically it's the same, but the uses have changed. So this is the gymnasium where you have regional basketball games come up here. And this is the movie theater.
Who's playing tonight?
Oh, it looks like it's right at the top of the hill.
הנה, זה הבלון, זה גם של הצבא.
Right, she said it's from the army. But come and look at the view here.
אוי, עכשיו זה יפה.
With a view, with this view up here. Right. That's the Golan Heights, yes.
זה גולן, זה החרמון.
Mount Hermon is up there. It's a tree full of snow. It's so beautiful. Here's the museum. What's this building here? A lot of things that it's a way of figuring out how to make a living, actually. You know? They had a high school in another kibbutz. So what they've done now is the elementary school from several kibbutz together.
And Jane too, Jane.
היא רוצה יחד. דוגמניות אנחנו.
Oh, beautiful.
דוגמניות. הנה, ירוק זה בזה.
You know, it's a video we can move.
כן.
There are a lot of older people living in this apartment here.
אבל זה מעורבב,
Sorry,
יש פה
excuse
גם
me.
משפחות. 30.
And the mothers who were nursing, who were working, would have beepers, and we'd call them in to nurse.
The children all live together.
No, they don't know. You get massage over?
Just right here, there's a massage. I shouldn't have reminded you.
In Tel Aviv, and they told her that she had a cousin. She decided to check someplace, and she found her. She was so emotional. My goodness, this cousin actually exists. And she came up to the kibbutz. The Julio, I think, took her up. And there was no way of letting you know. There were no telephones in that day. So she came to Temi and Shlomo's house, which was this house right here. She came in, she knocked, nobody answered. So she opened the door, and then suddenly there was this guy in, you know, the truck with a big barrel chest came up, and he looked at her. He had no idea she was coming, and he said, Paya. He said, he recognized her with a Yiddish name, Paya, Pauline. He says, you're Pauline.
Wow. From childhood?
From pictures, from I don't know what. It was very strange.
Wow. Yeah, I think it might be that one.
At the beginning of the building is a garden. Like, here underneath these plants. But we don't lose all those rocks here. We all have rocks No, I don't remember doing it with that.
No, I mean, do you remember those particular rocks?
Yeah.
How many fingernails do you find out there?
No. This is my home here.
Did you have trees like that?
You've been in here.
Yeah.
Did you have trees like that? Very pretty. Yeah. Oh, it's very good.
The rock garden was mine.
You want to go inside?
Go inside, Jane. You last, you know.
Hi.
זוכרת את חנה? בטוח זוכרת, את חנה, את השכנה שלה. חנה טריה.
כן, היא פה.
אני כל כך התביישתי, אני מסתכלת, אנשים אומרים לי, שלום חנה, כאילו הייתי פה לפני שבוע. ואני כזאת מתביישת.
שהתבקשו ממך, אני מתבקשת ממך. זה העיקר.
Hello.
What's her name? Carmela.
That's Carmela?
There's actually we're two Carmelas in the kibbutz.
שיהיה לכם טוב, תהנו מהטיול, ושיהיה לך הרבה נחת מהבת, מהבנות.
תודה רבה.
ושיהיה לך טוב, תמיד ותמיד.
טוב. תודה רבה.
אני התפלאתי בכלל שאת הכרת אותי.
הפנים אני אף פעם לא שוכחת.
No, hold the picture up. Hold the picture up. Let me take it.
I think you're gonna get
I'll take a chance.
אני אומרת כן, היא אומרת.
I'll take a chance. No, it's good.
את באת לחתונה?
כן.
איפה החתונה?
בתל אביב.
תסתכל על אבא שלי שם, אתה רואה אותו?
בת
אתה יודע
כמה
מי זה?
רחל?
My father,
Where? איפה? Put your finger on it.
למעלה.
היא חזרה לה בבריכה.
This
אבל
one.
היא בכלל חיה בארץ.
לא, היא
איפה?
אצלנו.
Is nowhere.
במסצ'וסטס. קרוב לבית שלנו.
כן?
That's too close, I said, isn't it?
Now I got it.
הבנות שלך היפות, אני רוצה לראות. ושרה פה את אומרת.
שרה חיה בתל אביב, מאוד מוצלחת. יש לה עבודה טובה והיא מאוד מוצלחת בעבודה שלה.
גם קודם היא הייתה מוצלחת.
גם קודם, כן. היא דווקא בחורה מוצלחת.
כן, תמיד הייתה.
She was a successful girl.
As a girl.
As a girl, כן. Do you remember the first time I came to the kibbutz?
Steve
it was שבועות.
Ritterbacher.
זה היה שבועות או משהו כזה. והיא שרה שיר לבד. ומישהו ישב על ידי ואמר בקול רם, פעם האחרונה שהיא תעשה את זה. אמרתי,
מה הפעם
למה?
האחרונה?
זה היה מעניין מאוד. אני לא הבנתי מה זאת אומרת, מה, הם יהרגו אותה או מה? אבל זה היה כל הסגנון.
לא, מה את מדברת? לא יודעת.
מי? מישהו? שרה שרה לבד עליו.
איפה היא שרה?
If you stand up further away, you can get the whole group without fanning us.
כל הכבוד לך שבאת.
באמת כל הכבוד.
שאת לא שוכחת אותנו.
מה, אני אבוא לארץ בלי לבוא עד פה? מה? אני לא הייתי יכולה להגיד לכם שלום אחר כך.
לא היינו יודעים. הכל בסדר?
כן הייתם יודעים, בגלל ששרה הייתה אומרת משהו. ויש חתונה, ואז הייתם בא, יכולתי להגיד, טוב, הם באים לחתונה, אז אני...
בת שבוע קודם, ומתי אתם חוזרים?
מקצועי בעיר, כך לפי המידע שהגיע, שתפקידה לעזור לעובדים ולמעסיקיהם, מחתימה אותם קודם כל על טופס הוראת קבע לטובת מפלגת עם אחד, שבה חיים בניסוח.
The idea is simple. Forget it. I didn't say you were simple. I said the idea. הרעיון פשוט. פשוט smart. It's so simple and so smart.
מה הרעיון?
I wasn't talking about you בכלל. I was talking about your idea. I didn't say that you're simple. I didn't say you're smart. I said the idea is so simple and so smart. ככה אני אצא מזה.
What you are saying is good.
What's her relationship to your father? Give me the connection again.
She's my cousin through marriage. Through my father's cousin's wife.
And her husband was born in
Russia,
in
and
Russia.
these are his two daughters.
That I know. But he was born in Russia and grew up with Sioma?
No.
No. How much older? Younger? Much younger?
Their father was brother.
Brothers.
Nathan and Alexander.
Alexander, I know. Yeah. Oh, so Alexander's brother was his father.
No, the son of Alexander.
זה בדיוק מה שהיא אמרה.
Alexander brother.
Yeah.
Sioma, my father,
was his son.
Right. Alexander's.
What are you focusing on here?
Your beautiful face.
Ah, thank you.
Give me the connection again. Alexander.
Again? What are you?
Sioma's Alexander.
את אולי לא פשוטה.
סיומה, my father.
הוא שואל עוד פעם אותה שאלה.
הוא היה אדם פשוט, ישיב כזה.
נו, תמשיכי.
איך זה לא יודע עליו. היה איש טוב. היה איש טוב.
I don't want to insult you. I'll eat some corn.
No, it's okay.
I remember your apartment. We were here 2 years ago.
You know, you remind me of your mother. You're not going to eat corn?
Yeah.
This reminds me of Temi.
What's wrong with my corn?
This is Temi. קיבלת את זה מאמא שלך. הדירה שלך יפה.
תודה.
ממש יפה, תמונות יפות, כל אחד מעניינת.
תודה. תראי פה, בואי תראי מה סידרתי פה, חנה.
כן?
What time is it American Day?
I don't know. Oh!
זה מוכר לך? זה המיטה מהדירה של אמא הבאתי.
מה מוכר לי?
המיטה.
מה, אני צריכה לסגור את זה?
לא, את לא יכולה. רק צריכה לשים פה עוד וילונות.
הוא בטח שמע והפסיק.
שמע מה?
תפני לה, אמרתי, טוב, למי?
שמע שרוצים להוציא אותו.
לא יודעת.
זה מישהו מהקיבוץ או מישהו מבחוץ?
מבקיבוץ.
נו, מה, היה איזה אירוע. אירוע. לא יודעת מה היה, היה משהו. נו, אף אחד לא רוצה תירס? בטח לא אחרי העוגה.
עוגה ואחר כך עוגה.
לא.
עוד עוגה את רוצה?
לא. כן, אבל לא.
רוצה.
מאוד רוצה. אז תסבירי לי מה היה בזה, זה יהיה קצת...
זה נורא קל לעשות, חנה. נורא קל, אפילו את לא מכניסה לתנור.
אפילו אני יכולה?
זה בלי תנור זה.
כן.
בלי תנור?
כן, נורא קל. באמת קל.
אז תסבירי.
רק צריכה... למטה זה לקחתי ביסקוויטים, פוררתי אותם.
ביסקוויטים של מה?
רגילים, ביסקוויטים.
באמריקה
יש בטח כאלה וכאלה וכאלה.
קוקיס, אוקיי, קוקיס.
קצת חמאה אימסתי ושמתי. לפני סידרתי.
ביסקוויטים מפירורים, ביסקוויטים עם חמאה.
כן, זה הכל. אבל את יכולה גם לקנות מוכן טורט, בסיס טורט מוכן.
אני לא אעשה את זה, בסדר, אוקיי.
אפשר גם בלי זה בכלל, זה גם טעים בלי זה.
אוקיי. נקסט.
עכשיו באמצע. אז את יודעת מה זה ג'לטין?
Yes.
אז את מערבבת חלב קר, חלב חם עם ג'לטין. אם את
רוצה... Milk and milk, hot milk and cold milk with gelatin.
כן.
אוקיי. Interesting, yeah.
ככה מכינה גבינה.
איזה גבינה?
צ'יז. 9%, אבל איזה 5%.
So, white cheese.
אין לכם גבינה לבנה?
לא, אבל אין לנו דבר כזה. אין לנו את זה.
white cheese 9%. אז יש להם קרם פרש, יש להם, אני יודעת מה.
טוב, צריך לחפש את זה, זה לא...
זה לא כמו פה.
את יכולה גם 5%, זה 5...
יוגורט? Can I use yogurt?
לא, יוגורט, בכלל לא יוגורט. יוגורט זה חמצנץ. גבינה, white cheese.
Maybe sour cream.
sour cream זה לא, זה שמנת.
אולי שמנת מתוקה.
לא, גם לא שמנת.
זהו, I have to find קרם פרש.
קרם פרש.
אבל זה לא טוב, צריך לחפש את זה.
זה קרם פרש, כזה, ככה זה נראה.
אוקיי.
בסדר. עם סוכר, 8 כפות.
8 כפות סוכר, אוקיי.
על החצי קילו.
רגע, כמה כמות של זה?
חצי קילו.
חצי קילו של גבינה? half a kilo.
את בוחשת, קצת בואה, ושתי כפיות תמצית וניל, זה נורא קל.
ונורא.
את בוחשת את זה, מוסיפה את החלב לתוך זה.
כן.
עם הז'לטין.
מקציפה שמנת מתוקה אחת.
מה זה מקציפה?
ביט.
ביט אפ.
כן, שמנת מתוקה.
שמנת מתוקה.
sweet sour cream.
יש פה כל מה שלא צריך לאכול.
אוקיי, I'll figure it out.
הכל ביחד.
צריך קצת ניסיונות כאן כדי, להחלפות של דברים.
לא, שמנת מתוקה. שמנת זה מה שנצר על החלב למעלה, שהחלב עומד.
את חושבת שיש לנו דבר כזה?
בטוח יש לכם.
אין.
בארצות הברית אין שמנת מתוקה? אז יש לך מוכן?
No, sweet cream, not, right. Not שמנת, sweet cream.
sweet cream.
אוקיי.
את מערבבת הכל ביחד, שופכת.
שופכת?
שופכת, שמה.
כן.
על זה. זה נורא נוזל, את מכניסה את זה למקרר, זה מתקשה.
ומתי את שמה את ה...
אחרי שזה מתקשה.
כן.
וזה עשיתי אתמול בערב, בבוקר קמתי, זה כבר היה קשה. זאת אומרת, ג'לי עם אוכמניות, את יודעת מה זה אוכמניות?
אוכמניות.
אוכמניות זה
משהו ברי.
פרי יער.
סטרוברי, משהו עם ברי בסוף, זה לא סטרוברי. קטנים שם.
This is just jam?
כן, וג'לי.
יכול להיות, גם
זה לא ריבה, לא ריבה, לא ג'ם. זה כאן אני קונה בשימורים. וגם יש בטוח.
בשימורים, אוקיי. אוקיי, I'll try.
עם ג'לי, אבל את צריכה לחשוב כמויות.
You're game? הוא מוכן לנסות גם כן.
אז אבל תכתבי את הכמויות, את תשכחי את הכמויות.
לא, אני קיבלתי
רגע, אז לא אמרתי לך. אז הג'לטין זה חשוב, כי אולי בארצות הברית זה אחר, 14 גרם ג'לטין. 14
גרם.
כן, אבל להכנה, את קודם את קודם מריסה בכוס קר, מחממת ומוסיפה את הקר לחם.
כן.
ובוחשת עד שאת רואה שאין את הנקודות האלה.
כן. בגלל זה תרגמתי לפעמים, ואני בטוחה שאני אזכור.
לא שמתי לב. עכשיו תסגרי. לא מאמינה. מי הזמין אותו?
אני הזמנתי אותו. אני בקשר איתו.
מאיפה את הזמנת אותו?
אני בקשר איתו.
את יודעת שעלה לי מחשבה?
הוא בא פעמיים לראות אותי.
את יודעת שהיה לי מחשבה לבקש מארז טלר שיהיה נהג?
ארז לא, עופר.
עופר, את ארז לא לבקש.
עופר זה...
אם לא יהיה נהג. עופר, אבל עופר הוא לא פה.
איפה הוא ארז? ארז פה?
ארז פה.
למה אני לא רואה אותו?
ראיתי אותו היום דווקא. בגלל זה נזכרתי שהוא היה מגן עם שרה.
תשאלו להורים איפה עופר. יכול להיות שהוא יבוא לכאן לראות את המשפחה. הוא גר בגרמניה משהו.
לא, הוא כבר מזמן בארץ.
בסדר.
הוא גמר בגרמניה. אבל אני לא יודעת אם הוא בכפר גלעדי.
אז זה כדאי לשאול.
זה
יכול להיות.
יהיה אחרי ניתוח.
כן, מה קרה?
תכף נגיד לחשוב. אני אף פעם לא זוכרת דברים כאלה.
מי אחרי ניתוח?
We're talking about Ofra Tyler's parents. She just had an operation.
החליפו לה... פה בירך, במפסעה, את הפרק. החליפו לה.
אבל מה אתם מתכתבים? באיזה עניינים אתם מתכתבים באימייל?
הוא בחור שפעמיים בא לבקר איתי.
הוא היה, כן, הם עשו ישבו ממנו.
And I saw him in Tel Aviv and he came to visit me. He saw Ken twice.
מספרת לי מה נעשה אצלה.
He's very nice, very warm, very... כפר גלעדי.
כן?
Hotel at the top. This was my house, the last one. Reception. Oh, I don't think I've ever eaten here. It's a new addition. Watch, this is something else.
Very good. That's a small one, but this is a really small world. That's an Israel.
This one is a tiny world. A very tiny, tiny little world. How's breakfast?
Delicious.
California avocados.
California? They're from California?
There was a sticker right on.
Really? That's so bizarre.
What? Yeah.
Apples and pears?
See? They grind all the bottles down and make apples, and eggs and stuff.
Come on, guys. Ken? You see that Mirpeset up there? That pears? That's Katie Kroll's.
Wow. All right.
I think that's it.
Where's the place where you did the shoes? Now, Lion?
I'm going to show them that.
Bedspreads. Bedspreads. Sheets and bedspreads and
mangler. This is where you got your mangling.
No, they've combined a few things together here. This is Jane's machine. There's the pads, and now there's a computer with it. Not an old robot.
Where's the room?
Let me see in the camera how it looks. Oh, the blue is nice.
isn't it?
No, it's the model that's so nice.
So here that. Okay, so it's the same principle. Imagine now they're here. They have to. It's a fairly quick approximation of where you put the stamp on. But if you're doing it on the front of the glass, where you're putting it some design that goes all the way around and you got to hit it right, that was what I invented. How to figure out how to do that, and it had to do with the darkroom process. And how to get to draw the design in a distorted way that reflected how it was going to be stamped, and then produce it on a plate.
Do they have to change them up if they're going to do red glasses?
How come the print comes out on the inside? It's on the outside.
Well, she's right here. She's doing the outside.
Yeah, why does it come out on the outside?
You shouldn't be filming all the time because then your film's gonna run out.
Normal.
What if I got glasses like this?
That's a little weird. It's a little too weird.
Too weird?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to wear this all the time.
They're so cool.
They're cool. See, look how complicated this design is. This is two stampings. I mean, you may not like it, but
yeah.
See, Chris, what I was explaining to you before. These are two stampings. It's not a matter of taste, okay? This is just a matter of technique. So you've got one stamping that does all of this, and probably up to there. And the next stamping there. So there's 4 stampings going on here. Well, maybe 3. So how do you get this to be in the right place, as well as that? That was the trick. Okay.
Let's say fix it. Ah. Oh.
Kann man schon?
Where did I learn to speak English?
She's born in England.
I was born in England.
She came here as a volunteer and was swept off her feet and stayed here forever. And made 5 daughters. And lives up there somewhere, right there.
So where's that black stone from? Around here, I guess. Huh?
That's volcanic.
Oh.
This is a museum. This is an archive in here.
But you said that was the oldest?
It used to be the first dining hall. And they slept upstairs.
I know, that's my balcony.
This one here.
No, that one there.
This one here.
Which one's that? Yes. No, that's a Redders. That's a Redders over there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, 1968.
The shoemaker shop.
Those 2 old guys in there, remember that? Remember last time you knocked?
I don't remember who they are anymore. Oh, what's the matter with you guys?
Come on in. You ready?
Locked.
She said it's closed to lock out.
Okay.
We're looking for a ton there. It's locked. It's locked.
Locked. So so I looked through the window.
Peeping Tom, Peeping Tom.
Shalom. Ah, הנה הסנדלריה, מה קרה?
איפה הסנדלריה?
It's no longer a shoemaker shop.
I think she left.
The olive trees down the first road I lived. There's our bus. Right here.
Shlomo? Who got next to it?
I don't know.
Can you read it to me?
No, it's this one here.
Where is it?
That's a new one.
No, this is just the mud.
La Motriga. So read it.
Jews don't bury in coffin. They bury to the ground.
76.
Syria is right there. You got it. They had it.
What happened? No idea about agriculture, no idea about how you start a community, no idea about anything. They were idealistic, they came from Russia, Poland, wherever, so bankers, lawyers, educate people, but not really. You read the memoirs of some of those early workers and you find hilarious things. One of them tells in his stories that the first day they arrived to Israel, they sent them to Mikveh Israel or something, to an agricultural farm, and they let them go to the field and work in a hot chili pepper field.
Shlomo's son, Yoram.
Wood? Yes. They would, yeah, of course. They have the loudspeakers in case you need.
But it's not regular. But if they were...
This border of those settlements here is that all of those settlements are suffering now from the fact that Israel left South Lebanon. Because Manara and Misgav Am and Margaliot over there, Kfar Giladi a little bit, Mitzula definitely, were somehow under threat about 19 years ago from the... Safari, how do you say Safari?
There's a Safari here?
Safari is an army truck. The soldiers sit on both sides, like one facing here, one facing there. They used to drive this when they go to Lebanon. And one of them went on a mine, on a field mine. And so there's the names of the soldiers who died.
About 5 feet up. What is that crease? I bet there's a purpose to it.
The fence here is...
Whoa!
In Maim.
In Maim.
Do you see the...
Shalit Karel?
You see the waterfalls? Here, left.
Oh yeah.
Here. But there's no water.
Oh yeah.
There is no water.
But what is this crease? See, is there? I bet there's a purpose to it.
Which crease?
In this fence.
As
here.
it goes like this.
It doesn't go straight down. See, it jogs out.
Just to get it, just to make it stronger and harder for people to climb, because it's hard to climb when it's like this.
Yeah.
It's hard to climb when it has an
Oh yeah, that I know. Yeah.
Electronical, and if you touch the border fence, it sets an alarm in one of the army bases. It's divided to regions, so they know exactly which part of the fence was touched, and they can say, just let go. And what Assad did now when he pulled out Syrian soldiers from Beirut, it was just cosmetic arrangements. They didn't move from Lebanon, they just changed positions. Lots of problems because of that, and many unemployed people.
So who owned these?
Emergency bases. In case of war, they would go from here up towards the Golan and the border.
Chris, look at...
I'm enjoying the moment. Rose up.
What's in there?
I don't know, but Rachel's in there and Andy's looking.
I have been in this looking place for $15.
It's kind of like looking at a movie in Swedish, trying to figure out what they're all doing.
Out of Lebanon, the border between Israel and Lebanon goes in the middle of the village.
Oh.
So basically half of a village is Lebanese like that. That's a very typical situation to what happens when you draw a line on the map and say this is the border. It just happened to be that the line went in the middle of the village. As you drive, you see remains of Syrian camps, Syrian military camps, Syrian bunkers. And if you watch, you'll see here to the right, you see this fence that has yellow signs with red triangles that says careful mines. See here?
Yeah.
Danger mines.
Is there really maybe mines there?
It means that they really may be mines over there, on this side. Now why is that? Because the entire, we're in the Golan Heights now, the entire Golan Heights during the Syrian period, during the 19 years it was Syrian until 1967.
That was a UN truck.
Was a big military camp. Syrian never had anything on the Golan, no cities, no villages, no people living, beside of huge military camps, a big Roman city right here on the junction, on the river. Look left. Look left of the left. You see this big cave in the mountainside? In the Roman period, it used to be a huge temple for a god named Pan. Pan was the god of running water and shepherds.
Is that a minaret?
Where?
There?
So what I tell you, put a lock in your face.
Yeah, and over there, and then later it used to be a mosque, so it's a Muslim holy site also.
But you have water down there.
Yeah, this cave is the origin, the beginning of a spring, of a river called Banyas. Banyas is one of 3 rivers that eventually will fall into the Jordan River and eventually will bring water into the Sea of Galilee, into the lake. Endangers the settlements and the kibbutzim down in the valley. More important than that, the fact that Israel has the Golan now, they won't be able to go out and work the fields. They would have to go out and work the fields at night. Fishermen in the Sea of Galilee won't be able to fish, they will have to do that at night. And the Syrian military camps here.
Syrian bunkers. Where?
They're all very camouflaged, all dug inside the hills, covered with stones and ground, and in between them they had mines and some anti-tanks obstacles, so tanks won't be able to cross to the Golan Heights.
No, where? Yeah.
The Druze people are a form of Muslims. They it's like Muslims, the only thing is that they took this. This is also a Druze village called Mas'adeh. The houses here are like the houses in the Arab villages. Very big, fancy.
ברגע שיחזירו את זה לסורים, הם יגרשו אותם ויקחו את הבתים בשביל החיילים.
אני לא אתרגם את זה.
לא, זה בדיוק מה שקורה.
זה בדיוק מה
אבל אני לא אתרגם את זה בכל זאת.
לא, וכאלה סורים יגרשו אותם. אם זה יהיה סורי, הסורים יעלימו אותם בשנייה.
הם יודעים את זה גם כן.
תשאלי את האנשים פה, הם מאוד מאוד לא ישמחו לדעת שזה יהיה סורי.
הם לא רוצים
לא רוצים בכלל. רק מה, הם גם קצת מצד שני גם פוחדים לדבר ולהגיד. אז הם מנסים להיות איכשהו באמצע.
נכון.
במקרה שמה שיקרה, הם יודעים שהם אנשים קטנים.
זה המצב של היהודים ב-Middle Ages.
שהם אנשים קטנים ופוליטיקה מעליהם יותר גדולה, הם לא יודעים מה יקרה.
נכון.
אז הם מנסים לשחק על שתי החתונות. לרקוד על שתי החתונות.
מה זה פה?
זה הבית הדין הקאדי במשטרה.
Working in the fields. They grow lots of apples here. Apples is what they do best. Or factory. That's what they fill apples and send. Most of the apples come from the Golan.
What kind of apples? Do you know? You may be pushing your luck.
אופניים, טיולי אופניים.
מה זה ההר שם?
אצל המרשים לציין.
אוקיי, זה. מה זה שם?
זה באירוע אביטל. ושם זה ציון.
זה קיבוץ שם?
שיפון.
זה הרים בגולן, זה טילים. כל זה היה טילי געש פעם, וולקניק מאונטנס.
אז זה אסור לצלם את זה?
כי יש את הבסיס הצבאי פה למעלה.
שם אסור לצלם.
בדיוק גם כשנסתכלת אסור לצלם. Of the border of the Hermon, the Israeli Hermon, the Syrian Hermon, and you can see what it means when you sit here, how important it is from the intelligence point of view. As we were climbing up, there was a military camp on the right, and they have cameras, surveillance cameras that... Meanwhile, this movement pushes north. In Europe, the global way created in Israel on a small scale pushes
We're going to go into the bunker and above it just to get the view of the whole panorama.
all your
Lainey and Andy are behind me someplace. Walter, this is tricky. You make the decision if you can do this. Yeah, well, I didn't. I waited till I came to the exit here.
Realize what it means to be on a frontier line, like soldiers in Lebanon. What was their daily routine? They would have something like this, a bunker. All their life would be underground and do those duties here and watching, standing on guard. And then they've got what they call ambush duty. You go out from the bunker, you go like 2 or 3 kilometers before the bunker, and then you hide in a secret place. Be there 24 hours, 72 hours, everything is with you. You take all your food with you. I mean, you need to go and pee, you pee in a bottle, you don't even get up. It's like 22 hours. It's one of the most...
Well, we're leaving the bunker, we're going up. I don't think your brother got in here yet. Or Lainey. Lainey! Gotta go down here.
Syrian Mount Hermon is on this side, Israeli is on that side.
The
that's how they maintain it over here, so they could bring in spectators from outside, from the whole world, and show them how evil the Israelis are.
Last time when the Pope was here, he came there to pray.
Yeah.
He came there they brought him there to show him how Israel destroys villages in Syria.
And the new one they built, you could see it right over to the left. You could see it on the close mountain. You could see like a W on the side. Just go right above that, and you could see like a whole group of
a W,
like a whole new village.
That's the road.
That's the new one. Yeah, exactly. The road goes all the way in. Now this road goes, if you just go on the road, it goes all the way to Damascus. About 60 kilometers in.
Maybe he's the enemy. Maybe he's giving us a signal. See that? Blink, 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 blink.
No, he's on our side here.
What's down here?
Rebecca?
בואו תיכנסו רבותיי, אני מזמין...
That ladder there.
חבר'ה, תבינו שההתפרצות האחרונה ברמת הגולן הייתה לפני אלפי או עשרות אלפי שנים, אבל במונחים גיאולוגיים, מקצועיים, זה כמו שנייה בחיים שלנו. העולם קיים מיליארדי שנים, ועשרות אלפי השנים האלה זה כלום.
Right between Hermon Syria and Hermon Israel.
Are you looking nice?
זה הפעיל בדיוק, ב-67 אנחנו כבשנו את הכפר.
מה שאני רואה ממנה לא מספיק כיוון לזה גם כן.
בשנת 73
As a bunker is 360 degrees always.
היינו בטוחים שאנחנו הכי טובים בעולם, בשנת 67.
Awesome.
This is the most interesting thing we've done so far. I'm trying to take it all in. It's just unbelievable.
It's the most different.
I guess, yeah. It's so historic.
Wait till you see Jerusalem.
Ask Andy what he remembers of pillboxes. This is what registers to me. That it's like one superimposed on the other.
Practicing. Here. Hold them. Here. Those are not tanks. Those are personnel, construction garbage, sand, cement, stones, whatever. This is where you get rid of them.
I'm holding on to this side of the bus.
Not just construction garbage.
Well, it has to be a construction garbage, solid garbage.
And then listen, can I tell?
From all over the country they bring this? Moshe, from the whole country?
No,
You said it. I said it.
You have about 6 feet.
6 feet to the edge?
Yeah.
It's Galil Golan. All its purpose is to plant forests in Israel. Buy the land and plant forests and maintain them.
JNF Forests, Jewish National Fund. Forests.
I don't like when people start gray. When I first started getting gray,
they just plant green trees like pines and cypress and that's it. See, those are all pine trees.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In Hebrew, yes?
Yes. That's beautiful.
Ashir more, here is.
It's just so easy.
One year work, for 2 hours a day work, for each one.
A day?
Yes.
2 hours
2
a day.
hours a day.
2 hours a day?
או שמירת הלשון.
Look at it. Is the color blue. See all the windows, all the doors, everything you can paint is painted blue. And that's because Sfat is considered the heavenly city. So when you paint Sfat in blue, you kind of make it heavenly, you connect it with heaven. In Jewish tradition, the angel of death doesn't have any power. Blue in Jewish tradition, in Arab tradition, by the way, it's a good color. It's a color against the evil eye, against walking in Sfat, religious people, some dressed up as the Hasidic Jews would dress, some dressed up very modestly. In Sfat, as I said, there's a mix. Okay.
Let's wait for Andy.
Yeah, we'll wait for him. But just before we go to the city. Go out to the nature, you can sing and dance and be happy, and you can worship God in this way also. It kind of split it into two. It had part which was called the Hasidic Jews, and part that were called Mitnagdim in Hebrew, which is against the Hasidic. And Kabbalah and Ha'ari and Bimbo and Sfat were following the ways of the Hasidic Judaism. So today, when you go to a Jewish synagogue level, in front is the Ark, the Aron HaKodesh, the Ark of the Covenant. Inside they have the Torah scrolls, same Torah scrolls that you take out and read in Jewish prayers. 52 chapters. Once a week on Shabbat, you take the Torah scroll and read your portion of the what we call a parasha, the portion of the 5 first books of the Bible. This way, in a year, after 52 weeks, you finish the whole cycle and you start again. One of the reasons why Hebrew kept us a living language for 2,000 years was this. The Jews were praying and reading the Torah in Hebrew, so they were familiar to the Hebrew language and to the Hebrew letters. We spoke about the scrolls. We'll talk again about Dead Sea Scrolls, and we'll talk about how the Torah scrolls are written when we be in the Dead Sea area. Then the blue color that I mentioned, all around us, and that's more or on the 8th day, if you look at unnecessary plants, this is those pictures are handmade by an Israeli group, Tzion Punjab, who gave them a contribution to the synagogue. Those 3 pictures, 1, 2, and 3 over there. In memory of her parents. And like the stories by Ali is 1, 8, 4, 13 together.
Okay.
I could have drinking.
The balcony that was screened off.
Yeah, it's the women's part of the synagogue. They separate men and women in the Jewish synagogue.
And I'll bring a book.
Whoever hasn't seen one, you can see the wax and the honey mixed up together. You see that? It's not so clear because of plastic. Okay, but we don't need the honey, we just need the wax.
Looks yummy.
Yeah. So the bee holders, they separate the wax from the honey through a process of centrifuge, and we get it already in this nice little shape for these little pellets. Yes, you may. Some people don't ask us. It's active. Yeah, for little noodles.
Do you sell honey around here too?
We don't sell honey.
That'd be a cool thing to sell. Do you have honey candles?
We have beeswax candles. That looks like honey, looks like a beehive. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so what do we do with these? We take them and we melt them in a very big tank, much bigger than this. And like I said, by hand, we take our wicks, like these, and we dip them into the melted beeswax. Now every time we dip it in, we hang it up and let it cool off. So once it's cool, it's ready to dip again, and it takes another layer of wax. So it's a very nice, slow process. Okay, so this is, want to take a guess how many times we did? Don't go wild, it's not that slow.
4.
That's pretty good.
5.
6.
8, right. It's 8 times. So it's a nice, yeah. Now, okay, I'm going to dip it in our little, this is our colors.
Oh, they have
this is how we dip it, how we color it. While I'm doing it, I ask you a question. What's so special about beeswax? Maybe someone wants to guess.
They don't trip.
Right. Yeah. They burn very nicely, they don't trip. Also, they're natural product. And I heated this up a little bit, but it cools very quickly, but it's still warm. This is the most important reason. When beeswax is warm, see that?
Oh!
We can make it all sorts of shapes. You know what I'm making?
Havdalah candle.
Right. Havdalah candle, right. It has to be 2 wicks or more together. So this is actually a real Havdalah candle, but we make them very special.
Wow, that's pretty
right?
impressive.
Yeah.
How is it?
Those done like braided? This is a weave.
Are they hand done? Yeah.
The weave. We put it flat on an electrically heated table, like this one over here. I don't think it's on right now. No, obviously not. And we weave it when the temperature's just right, and then we wind it around a stick. And that's it. These candles, this is 22 wicks, this is 26. These candles can last like half a year. Because every week we light it and put it out.
So the stick is what, wood?
We take the stick out.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't leave it in.
So there, you said there's all these wicks, but
22.
But they're, I see.
They're wound around so you don't see how much. The center is hollow now.
Some of them you can see, some Havdalah candles which are like long this way, you can see like
you can 10
wicks,
wicks.
you know?
Yeah.
That one is
very
look
at that.
This one.
This one is a double blessing Havdalah candle.
Oh, that's nice.
That's lovely.
It has in the same candle the fire, a blessing to fire, and the cloves are in a bowl of wax.
Remember he was saying about smelling the spices.
At this, both at the same time.
So you actually use that? Or do you use a clementine?
Yeah.
Use it on Shabbat, after Motzei Shabbat. After
Do
Shabbat.
that.
Look at this.
It can be used. Okay, this is the famous one.
Oh,
The little traveling Havdalah candle.
We heard about this.
Yes.
Are you the only one to make this?
No, we sell it in other places, but we make it here.
You're the only one to make
This
it?
lady who was just sitting here, she designed it. She's our artist. She designed a lot of things here. Okay, so this is little, and when you're traveling, you put it in your backpack, it doesn't break. And then when you need to use it, you open it up.
It doesn't break.
It cracks after 10, 12 times. This has been used already many times.
But it's okay.
Traveler kids, yeah, it's okay.
Yes, watch. When you close it, you just twist it.
Oh wow, that's amazing. If you're traveling in the sun.
In the sun?
This is so cool.
In the warm weather. Yeah, right. So that's okay. What else? You look around, you see we have all sorts of beautiful art candles. This is really
That's cute.
Excuse me, I was doing it.
Havdalah means to make a difference, a separation. A dreidel and a book.
No, it's beeswax.
It's a piece of watermelon.
It's mystical.
Can we taste it?
Watermelon. Oh my God.
It depends on your fine.
Here, Rebecca. You can't eat that.
This is the Ari synagogue.
Now we will go.
So you have a mezuzah where you eat, sleep.
This is 1617.
Not pray.
Not
Study.
Study. But all the shops have have them.
Yeah, everybody has
Is
them.
that just sort of...
This is the cover. This is their interpretation.
A different color theme. This is a different color theme.
Like that's near the soul, the women's section. So that's separated from the men's section. From the steps, there's another entrance. Yeah. The what? Yeah, that's the Jewish synagogue. If you find images in synagogues, it will be usually not because of the line of Judah. The interesting thing about the Ari synagogue is, first of all, everybody claims that Ari was either Ashkenazi or Sephardi because one of his parents was Ashkenazi, the other was Sephardi. So there's two synagogues. There's the Sephardic Ari synagogue and the Ashkenazi Ari synagogue on the other side. Take a look at the Aron Kodesh. Before we were talking about the crown of Torah, which is the crown on top of Aron Kodesh. And we said that according to Kabbalah, Ari said that everybody deserves the crown of Torah. So he does his part in keeping the world.
This is in the Ari synagogue.
And bringing back the wholeness into the outward things.
Let's get a little closer here.
Doesn't matter if you're Jew or non-Jew, you deserve the crown of Torah, provided you keep the way of life. The Kabbalah What would that one? This carving?
I'll be your third person.
So where's the...
Walter. Just gotta rest a second. Well, here's a red gate.
Red light district.
Must be heathens.
This is Yosef Karo synagogue. Not everybody came in to see this one. Ken, look at the Geniza. Andy, you see the Geniza here? You've heard of the Cairo Geniza? Oh, I like this place very much. That's the Geniza there. Oh, you got a beautiful breeze here. I think Joanna would love to come in here and see this one.
She's pretty far away at this point. Let's get that one.
Oh, the quality of light in here is wonderful. Put a little money in. Andy asked me to film this. Keep your neighborhood holy. Bathroom.
Where's the bed?
Way up. toward Haifa. Oops. That's a tough run. A lot of hairpin turns. There we go. That's where we just came from. That building. Where is it coming in? Oh yeah.
Yes, each of these villages have its own political organization.
It's more like a city council.
Have its own public works.
Mine.
Each one of it, yes. Water, all the kind of things like garbage, whatever.
This is a city that's...
City council, sort of, was responsible for everything.
In 1978, when I came, it was a new city. Now it's completely developed. Huge.
Yeah, of course, there's one organization which is common to all mayors and municipalities and... Actually, yes. Yeah.
Joanna, Joanna. Hey.
Okay.
Oh, you look like a real American student.
Hello, you like my country? You come here. We have lots of apples.
We give you my phone number.
Fruit, whatever you like, we got plenty of it. And you're chicky. You want my phone number? American girl. Laney, did I give this to you? No.
Taking good pictures?
Yeah, how are you, Walter?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good.
How's your tongue?
Say your Hebrew words you know.
Togo.
No. Toda.
Toda, toda.
Hey, cute sister!
There's nothing holding up that bike.
זה בגלל שאמרתי לך לא ליפול, אז נפלת.
מה כל כך מסובך כזה?
I'm scared.
Tell him go, Mishka, go.
You're not scared, but we are.
כמה עולים אופניים כאלה? It does not want to go.
It only goes for the boys. You're holding the brakes on, that's why it doesn't go.
Thank you.
These are the refineries just outside of Haifa.
Yeah.
What's that?
Electricity, main electricity power station.
Electricity power station. It's really quite ugly here. This is the entrance to Haifa.
It's the entrance to Haifa when you come from Akko, when you come from the north.
From Akko.
Let's go to the other side of the mountain.
Okay, here's the other side of view of the old industrial.
It depends. They have zones
garbage.
they have zones where you pay $80,000 a room. You have to guess.
Do you live in Tel Aviv? What kind of programs?
Minutes. Like you can buy, I don't know, 1,000 minutes. You can buy.
Just more views of Haifa. Gas station. Gardens. Apartment buildings.
Well, next time you decide to go to Spain, let me know if you need a roommate. I'd love to go to Spain. Looks like we're coming up to the TV studio.
Where? This one?
To the left.
It's a hotel.
The one behind it with all the different antennas on it?
It's a hotel, but the antennas on the top, it's probably cell phone companies or something. It's army.
He wants us to come this way. Walter, he wants us to come this way. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good idea. Oh, well, I understand that.
Oh, why? Because I took the flowers?
Can you imagine mowing that?
What is it?
Like that.
I've never seen massive.
It's special kind of dish, fluffy dish.
Fluffy dish.
Fluffy Desha?
Dish is lawn.
It looks fluffy.
It is.
Moss?
This is a good spot you found here.
Yeah, because it's far
Shady.
from the guards and shady.
Zoe had to go, Rachel had to go back to the bus to get something on.
Yeah, it's the cover.
Yeah. Really? The guard would not
You're
let
okay.
it down.
You didn't say anything.
They said something to her? Yeah. I didn't realize that. I just took the flower.
The Baha'i Temple.
City with a beautiful beach, and it has all the hotels in town. So the people actually has to drive to the beach if they want to get to the water. There's only one hotel that was built now on the exit towards Tel Aviv, right on the water. And that's all because of the development of time. So you look at the forts right here, you look at the refineries which we passed over there. This entire area is the industry area, heavy industry, airporting industries, refineries, electricity, bromide, all sorts of heavy metals, lots of air pollution and lots of smoke. And if you of the Baha'i religion, his name was Mirza Ali. He was like the founder of the religion, and he was exiled by the Ottoman Empire. He was exiled to the most, died, was buried here. And they transferred the bones and buried him here in the temple. The other buildings, they have this and this. One is the library, the archive for the Baha'i religion. One is called the World Center for Justice. It's
Esperanto.
Esperanto is a
Universal.
universal language. So yeah. It was invented, by the way, by.
It's that star.
Wait, which star?
Eight points. 8 pointed stars down there.
Ah.
8 and 8.
That's where imported wheat is stored and distributed to Israel in this building.
Where? At the circular building here?
The Israeli Navy is here someplace.
It's called
This one here is the industrial port.
World Baha'i Center for Justice.
No, lo voy a ver, es más grande que el libro. No es igual, y ahí tienen que tener cuidado.
¿Cuántos son ellos, compadre? Acá, digo.
Millones por todo el mundo. Acá no son muchos. No hay israelíes.
¿No?
No hay judíos que entraron.
Yo veo por el culo del puerto municipal.
Was? Ein Time kommt, ja.
Well, you could put that. Oh.
Bring the Girl Scout out? Just aspirations.
Dilbert got here.
Dilbert? Where's Dilbert?
Dilbert on his shirt.
Dilbert's everywhere.
Muslimness is not shared by anybody else in the country. Haifa altogether is a city of different groups. The Mediterranean, if we're going south to Haifa, Tel Aviv. Crusader fortress, Ablit.
Yeah, the unit just like the equivalent of Navy SEALs. It's a secret army base, they practice there.
Watching the sunset. with us today. We're going to the old city of Jerusalem. Walter's up front and we're taking care of the brakes. Yeah, did you check on that? Okay. Put your sunglasses on.
Here we are in downtown Florida. Miami Beach. We've seen a lot of palm trees.
Yeah,
and we're about to go to the old age home.
Harry,
I don't know if we're going to make it.
Harry, did you bring the water?
I forgot the water.
Oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom.
Make the water.
Oh look! Oh look! That's a palm tree. It's just like Florida. Why did we come here?
My hair is falling.
I don't understand anything. It's all written in, what is that, Yiddish?
It's French, I think.
Oh, I can't stand this. Let's go back to Florida. It's so dirty here.
Wasn't Ben Yehuda a character in...
Is that recording?
Yeah.
Wow, you're getting big.
Okay.
Your eyes staring right into mine.
Yeah, it's on the right.
What's that?
Sandbox
Gone, really.
Closed.
It's cool. Oh, good.
Me too. My strip outfit?
One shop that we both knew we were going to find it there. Oren had already been to a shop in Yerushalayim, and I had been to the same shop in Yerushalayim. And there were also really nice rings there. But yesterday when we went to Nevet Tzedek, which is where your goods are going to be on Friday, right? Where you already were? No, we didn't go. Was it nice?
It was closed. He doesn't have a good reputation.
Not nice.
We're leaving Tel Aviv, going to Jerusalem today.
Probably the artists.
Yeah, well, the noise.
You pick up the noise too.
That's the worst part, is the noise.
It's cold for the trains. They had trains running all the way through Israel, Lebanon, Syria, all the way up to Turkey. And all the woods, all the forests, so they can use them on the train for coal. One of the first purposes of the JNF was to replant all the forests, and to do that they were left here ever since the War of Independence. Now, one of the interesting things about the War of Independence is to understand that who were the soldiers in the War of Independence. It's not a regular army fighting against Arab armies or against army volunteers. As far as the Arab army goes, the War of Independence was the 5 Arab countries surrounding Israel. But beside of that, they had lots of help from local units, volunteers from the Arab villages all over Israel. You can see more on the left. Some of them died before they even had a couple of days in Israel, before they knew the language. There's a very nice book about the War of Independence. It's called Friends of the Jewish People, and they said that, this guy says, I know people will think I'm crazy and I know people won't believe me, but I'm saying, and I guarantee that, Benny didn't have a day's sleep, and they did, and the outcome of the war was that Israel expanded its territories far and beyond from what the United Nations meant to begin
small
with.
trees. Very typical.
And we said that this war, the 67 war, is basically what created.
Just before we reach Jerusalem, it's part of Jerusalem, it's called Mevatzeret Zion. That's Ramot. And he likes these symbols. Oops, there we go. Sorry. We're finding our way into Jerusalem through the, uninteresting entrances. The bus stop's going to be up ahead soon.
So this is mostly like Americans around here. Americans, French.
No, there are Russians.
Really? I haven't met any Russians here.
This is where we used to walk to get a little something sweet.
Domino's Pizza.
Get to Domino's Pizza.
Oh, I see.
And this is the local shopping center here, a supermarket.
And that is right on it's like on the outskirts of the campus.
Zoe, remember when you lifted something from the supermarket?
Yes.
The manager of the supermarket called us up.
That's cool.
What did you lift?
That's a school, yeah.
You gotta go back and say hi.
Yeah. And these are all the little shops here.
I walked in, I was like, yeah, what did you take? What did you say? To get candies and stuff. So we went to all.
Oh, you're so Rachel's daycare center right here. To give them a little moment to all assimilate where we are.
Maybe they have to check the sands.
To the far end, over there where you see the triangled black roof and the tower next to it, that's Mount Zion. And in front of us, where you see the Golden Dome and the other dome, that's Temple Mount or Mount Moriah. So when you read Psalms of King David, King David says that Jerusalem is a city surrounded by mountains, and you stand in King David's city. You've got lots of mountains, lots of hills, you go down the valley, up the hill, and you have neighborhoods on top of the hills. King David started Jerusalem 3,000 years ago, destroyed Jerusalem, burned the temple. Ever since then, Jerusalem is not the center for Jews anymore. Temple Mount was empty until the 7th century. Muslim occupation arrives, and the Muslims built two buildings. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the mosque with the black dome over there on the south, on the place believed to be the place where Muhammad the Prophet arrives one night. He ties his horse on the southern corner of Temple Mount. That's where they build the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And then from the Rock of Sacrifice, he ascends heaven, meets with God and Jesus. See the Rockefeller Museum, Jen pointed. This is the building, big, massive, round building in front of us.
Pentagon-like.
Pentagon-like. Go a little bit right, you'll see two domes, one black, one gray. That's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This more or less was the border of Jerusalem until about 1886. We will talk about later the neighborhoods that were built outside of the walls. We will see one, but one of the first neighborhoods built outside of the walls is where the King David Hotel is, right underneath the King David. And if you look straight ahead of us, there's a huge, big building with lots of windows and a tower behind it. That's the King David Hotel. And right underneath the King David, Sir Moses Montefiore gave enough money at 1886 to build two neighborhoods, Yamin Moshe, Mishkenot Sha'ananim, which was the first neighborhoods that took Jewish people outside of the walls.
That's the YMCA.
The one on the left is the German hospital of Augusta Victoria, the border between Mount Scapus and Mount of Olives. Mount of Olives is important to Christians because lots of the events about Christianity began and ended in Mount of Olives. The first appearance of Jesus to Jerusalem would be from Mount of Olives, because Jews those days, when they used to travel, they traveled through the Judean desert. Judean desert is on the other side of Mount of Olives. It has a grave inside of Elizabeth. Princess Elizabeth was a member of the family of the Tsar. She was assassinated in the text by the Tsar, and then she's a saint now. It's called Saint Elizabeth.
Mormon University, the center of the Mormons in Jerusalem.
The greater wall that's around that, is all that part of the Russian?
Yeah, that's a Russian. From here,
this is French Hill over there.
Mount of Olives. We will have a short panoramic view from Mount of Olives, closed range to the temple area. And ever since then, Jerusalem is open.
I'm not in the picture.
Yes, I'm scanning.
All the roads are
scan this.
Underground. Do the white material and everything, and then put it in the grave and close the grave with a big stone. So for those who are not familiar with the way people used to bury in Second Temple period, would understand how you close a tomb with a big stone. But the thing about burial caves is that
this is part of the Hebrew University on Mount Scopus. We might get some more. It's hard to get the view from the car unless you're sitting in the front seat, and even then it's full of noise. There's another view of Jerusalem again. And this plaza we've been standing on. And let's see who we got here. This is Zoe.
It's such an amazing thing, this whole state.
Also a Mediterranean climate. We were looking into lots of lush and green, and like 800 millimeters of rain every year. Very Mediterranean, where you can have huge wind bushes and huge green trees, and lots of cities and villages. As we saw from there, the whole city was developed there. And then you look here, and what you see in front of you is actually a desert. And the lower you go from here, the more brown and desert the landscape will be. Rain,
this is the
down here, you will have something like a
university, the Hebrew University on Mount Scopus. And one of these buildings is the new Betzalel Art
That's why
Institute.
this is called the Judean Desert. It's not like the real desert, it's not a sand desert. Ground. The beginning of the Judean Desert. If you look at the map, you will see you have the Sea of Galilee. You have
Lainey looking at the Judean desert.
East into the temple area, we see clearly the Dome of the Rock.
Area.
We see clearly the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the one on the edge. We see the Jewish cemetery of Mount of Olives in front of us. This is all the Jewish cemetery of Mount of Olives. For years and until now, it's important for Jews to be buried on Mount of Olives because Judaism says that when the Mashiach will come, there will be a resurrection of the dead. So as close as you are to the temple, you'll be the first in line. And if you're buried in Mount of Olives, you'll be the first in line to resurrect. If you're buried in Jerusalem, you'll come next. If you're buried in Israel, you'll come third. If you're buried overseas, then you've got a big problem waiting till the link. The one a little higher than this is a church called Dominus Flevit, the cry of the Lord, because it says that Jesus was halfway on Mount of Olives looking to Jerusalem, crying for Jerusalem, knowing that Jerusalem is about to be destroyed. And then the lower part of the mountain, between the arrested and handed to the Romans and taken to be crucified.
I see a large building down there. Is that the one you're talking about?
No. The large building is another...
To the right, the shiny...
A little bit of the temple. You see it? You see the gate in the middle? You see a double gate, which is blocked. This was blocked by the Muslims of the Muslim occupation. And not only they blocked it, they also have a cemetery, a Muslim cemetery in front of that. And they did that because the Jewish tradition and Christian says the corner of Temple Mount. So on the southern wall of Temple Mount, you see the steps.
South wall, yeah.
South wall, you see the steps. This used to be the main entrance to the Jewish temple in Second Temple period. People who would come from David City, which is this village of today here to the left, the Kidron Valley, would have to climb up through a set of gates called the Hulda gates and enter the city from the south, the main entrance to Temple Mount area. We see from here clear the Dormition Abbey. See this church I was showing you before? The big church with the tower, triangle roof. Dormition Abbey, this whole group of white buildings from the Dormition Abbey till the Al-Aqsa, till the mosque, is the Jewish quarter of today. In Roman periods, this used to be the Herodian city. This used to be the rich part of Jerusalem, the aristocracy part of Jerusalem, where the high priests would live, where the people with lots of money and lots of Roman culture would live.
Al-Aqsa is the black.
Al-Aqsa is the black. Dome of the Rock is Dome of the Rock. You see the King David clear from here? See the King David?
See the older...
The one with the windows and the YMCA behind it.
The YMCA right behind it,
Behind it, the King David with lots of windows. What else do you see from here?
Well, the big hotels are all those big ones out there.
Yeah, that's the city center.
Do we see the western wall?
No, it's on the west. We're looking from the east. It's on the other side. We'll come there from the west. And then again, go here in this valley, in the Kidron Valley, a little halfway in the valley, there's another church with a black roof and built of stone. Is it? Here, where I'm pointing? See, there's a tree. Straight line where I'm pointing, there's a tree, another tree, and then a building. I'll show it to you when we drive. Anyway, it's a check domes, the two black, grey domes, which is outside of the city walls of Jerusalem.
Of that period.
That's where he was crucified, died.
Do you know why they have a donkey here, Andy?
The church of Gethsemane, the ones we saw from the back. You will see the garden of Gethsemane, you will see the Jewish cemetery of Mount of Olives from the lower part, and you will see some strange looking buildings. Those were burial caves from First and Second Temple period that were discovered at the burial area. Start looking left now. You'll see the facade of the church with the beautiful mosaic right here to our left. A mosaic describing Jesus in agony in the middle sitting and crying for his destiny because he knows that he's about to be betrayed and handed to the Romans. You can see the Maria Magdalena church, the Russian church, on top with the golden domes. You can see the beginning of the burial area of Second Temple period right here in front of us, because this was just outside of Jerusalem, outside of David's village, which is further down south there. As we're driving here, if you look, when we turn at the corner, you look to your right, you'll see the steps leading to the temple, the main steps. תעצר שנייה עד המדרגות אם יש מקום. אבל אתה משלם. נסגור אחר כך. Right here in front of us, which is today covered because it's the basements of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the basements of the mosque on top. Those were the two sets of gates entering to the Temple Mount area. Why would you need two sets of gates? I said that yesterday. You were not listening. No. For the clean. One for the pure people and one for the non-pure people. Because one would lead you to the Royal Basilica, which was the area where pure people, non-pure people, Jews, non-Jews could enter. One would lead you straight through to the Jewish part. You would have two more parts of the temple, one for the Levites and priests, and one which is the Holy of Holies. What can we do? And the base of Judaism and the base of Christianity and the base of Islam, both three religions actually were based here. And it is important for every religion, so every building you'll go, you'll be hearing about different traditions attached. So this building here is a good example.
We're inside a school here.
Acoustics here is very good. So when somebody stands right under the dome over there and sings, so we're just about singing over the just not like you can hear the acoustic is beautiful. First of all, to take a look at the building, you see this is typically Crusaders. We spoke about the Gothic style and the arches, the cross arch. That's Crusaders, that's Gothic. But then if you look around, you see there's Arab writing on the walls, there's Arab windows on the windows, there's this little niche here in the wall pointing south. This is called the Maqam for the master. This is the prayer place where the master is praying. Or south, the south is where Mecca is. And the master would sit here in rows and pray in the direction of south. So every master praying place has a Maqam, a niche in the wall to show the praying direction. Over there, Maqam. Over there, this little dome is where the Imam sits. Imam is the guy who runs the fast and prayer. He would say one verse of the Quran and then would repeat the other verse of the Quran. So look at the building, you realize this and the sacrificial of Jesus, suffering for all human beings, because a mother Falcon, when she wants to feed her babies, she eats the food, she opens her mouth, the baby comes in all the way to her stomach, and he takes his food from her stomach. As he goes in and out, he's wounding her, so she's waiting to suffer and get wounds as long as she feeds her children. Okay, we go inside to take a look at this King David's
Today is Wednesday.
It's a head cover. This cave covered here with the cover, and the cave is King David's place where King David is buried, just outside of the city of Jerusalem, outside of the city of David. The reason for the synagogue being built is in David's tomb. People come here as you go visit tombs of holy people, tombs of important people come here.
Oh, this is beautiful. Chandeliers.
In the city, there's a shawarma going around and around. It's a little more here than where we were before.
There's a lot in it.
Well, I had just about 4 things except what I asked for.
So I think it's all new books. New books.
Yeah, I wanted to go up there, but thought, no, I'll get lost. Or you'll lose me or something.
Hey, where were you? Out here? Did you eat a falafel or a shawarma?
I had a falafel. I had a shawarma yesterday.
Okay, yalla.
Yeah. How long is it? You want to run up there? I think it's
The minute you said that too, I was there. The minute you
not within the range. Where's Walter? Where is Walter?
There's Walter. A couple of steps down. Actually walk from newer periods into older periods. Right? But Jerusalem was never destroyed, it was covered and rebuilt on top. Covered and rebuilt on top. We go inside, hide in the shed, then hear some more about the Cardo. And the unique thing about the floor of that church is that it's a mosaic floor describing the Holy Land in the Byzantine period in symbols. It's not a geographical map, it shows the most important sites in the Holy Land during the times of the Byzantines. This is the...
No, I wouldn't say that long.
Also use the Cardo as a main shopping street, as a main mall. The only arch did because the... With the Torah gives specific instruction on how you build the Torah. It has to have some candles, it has to be one piece of solid gold. You put olive oil inside, one of the duties of the priest coming to the Holy of Holies and light the menorah in the morning. That we did all the time. The other one, the 9 candles, is of the Yam. That's of the Greek administrative period. The Jews were fighting against the Greeks and won. And they had a miracle that was the guy of the Jewish kings.
They're looking down at a whole other level, down to the level of King Hezekiah.
King Hezekiah.
I can't photograph down there. I can't see.
Was in Jerusalem. Makes sense.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, guys, this way. The remains of the wall that used to be the walls of Jerusalem in First Temple period. These walls that were built by Hezekiah. King Hezekiah was actually, he was facing a danger of the Assyrian army siege. The Assyrian...
Why was the first temple built? The first
all the new construction was from 67. Once after Israel took it and it became part of called the Ramban synagogue. It was built in 1267 and it became the biggest synagogue in the Jewish quarter. It was blown by the Jordanians in 1948 in the Jordanian army until here. The only thing that survived there was one arch. Or arches, even not one arch, the part of the arch which they reconstructed, you see the depends, it's a religious school, it's not separate, it was very separate. It's not a religious school. The point, they say Jerusalem is Jewish, so they, if they can, they buy houses within the Western quarters. That's part of the political situation. Yeah, it's part of the political situation.
Mr. Sharon has a house there.
I'll show you. No, we won't go back. It's good there, but I'll show you the direction of it.
It's all the temples to the sacrifice.